Healing is that process of becoming whole again.
You're so passionate about healing. Do you have any history that is attached to it?
She asked me, do you want to forgive? And I said no. I used to have acne on my face. I used to have sores that would just pop up, have fluid inside, and then burst. I felt like the weight just went down. 2 weeks, the acne disappeared, the sores disappeared. So it was me poisoning myself.
Okay.
Because forgiveness, Jeffries, is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is for you. Hurt people hurt others.
Today, I want to congratulate our life coach. Yes, and I'm very excited and happy about it actually. Yeah, that shows me that there is something she's doing and it is for the best.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
For the award on our table. Viewers, you can see, yes, it is here for all of us. Yes, and I'll welcome her to talk about it kidogo, then we delve in our topic.
Yeah, actually this came as a surprise, and I just want to thank you and our viewers because they voted for me, and all people out there who voted, because this nomination came in as a surprise.
Yes.
And it's just a sign that somebody out there is being blessed by what I do. And so I'm grateful to have been recognized and having won this award. So what it does, it just made me leave that award ceremony fired up, feeling like I want to do more. And so, yes, it's another phase of my coaching work, and we keep shining and keep doing this.
Yes, and I know there is so much in store for you.
Yes.
And I'll just urge you to keep up
and
keep on pushing.
Thank you.
I know you're touching many.
Thank you.
And I know many are getting blessed by what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
So, help us celebrate. Where you are, help us celebrate. Yeah, that is all we can say. Na inainua spirit ya mtu. Even if you're doing it for free, inainua your spirit and you really want to continue.
You're the one who keeps saying we give flowers when we are still alive.
Yes.
So they gave me mine.
Yeah, and last week I told you I'm giving, na wakaongeza.
Yes.
That is a big up.
I appreciate.
Yes. So, I want us to go into our today's topic. And before we go into the topic, I want you to introduce yourself. For someone who is seeing you for the first time. Na pia wale ambao wanakuona na labda wanasahau. Tukumbushe tu Abini nani.
So Jeffries has now changed my title to the award-winning life coach.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm proud of it and I'm grateful. My name is Coach Blessed Abby. I'm a mindset and holistic wellness coach. That's what I do. I just help people to live their best lives, to move from ordinary lives and discover who they can be when they live their extraordinary lives. So I do life coaching. I'm based in Nakuru. I have an office in Nakuru. And I also do online coaching. And what we do with Jeffries here is also something I love. So thank you.
Wow. For the longest time we've been talking about, tumekuwa na msururu wa topic to help us grow and change our mindset.
True.
So last week we talked about the traumas we go through. But now today I want us to talk about healing. Why someone has to heal and also forgive others and the compassion about it or behind it. Sawa. So our topic today is about healing, forgiveness and compassion. Either to oneself or extended to another person. Right? So as a life coach, you've walked this journey. And then when we talk about healing emotionally or in the inner being of a person, what is it? What is this healing and why is it so important that one has to heal?
Let me first say, our viewers could be wondering why I have a patch on my face.
Pole.
So I just thought maybe God decided that I should come as a demo of healing. Because right after the award, it was on Saturday. On Sunday, I got an accident just in the house. But I'm glad I'm doing well. So I'm going through healing. So, you know, healing is that process of becoming whole again. Now, mark the word process, because it's something that is ongoing. So it can be mind, spirit, body, mind, and spirit. So most of the time we are conversant with the healing of the body. You have a headache, you need healing. You have an injury like what I have, you need healing. But then now we also look at the emotional side, the spiritual side, and you being whole again. Now I came with these just to demonstrate. You see, when you are, I hope the viewers can see, this is disease. And so disease is when this and then is. These are two words. So this means lack of something. Is, so it's lack of ease. Like disappointed, it's lack of appointment, for example. So when you're not well, you have a dis-ease. You are in a state of dis-ease. And so now healing takes you back to where the dis is no longer there. So you are not now at ease. So you go back to who you were before whatever happened to you happened, or even better. It's not forgetting or ignoring what happened. It's not covering it up or assuming it didn't happen, because that's what most of us do. But it's choosing to go through that process, the whole of the process, until you heal, which we will talk about.
Wow. Yeah. This is a new revelation.
Yeah.
This is a new revelation to me. And wow, we are learning and learning.
Yes.
Abby, you're so passionate about healing. Is there any, do you have any history that is attached to it?
Yeah, that is where my journey started. That is where actually coaching was born, the healing. So Jeffries, I used to be this person who would be hurt and brush things under the carpet. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
So I used to say, me usiwekangi grudge. Me, I don't store people's issues in my heart. Kumbe all I was doing was brushing them off. So a time came 5 years ago, something serious happened. You know, that kind of thing that you can't ignore. And that's when I realized I have never healed. Right from childhood, I've been storing up things. And so I would go to work crying. I would drive to work crying, get to the office, clean my eyes, sit on the desk, and be the, you know, I used to be the advisor. Talk to people as though nothing has happened. In the evening, go back to the normal. So this one day, I'm driving to work, and I like listening to an inspirational video on my way. Anytime I'm driving or just somewhere, not actively involved in the brain, I'm listening to something. So something pops up on my feed on YouTube, and it's a preacher known as Christine Caine. So Christine Caine preaches from the book of Luke. You remember this man who is disabled and has been there for 38 years and is waiting for somebody to dip him in the waters.
Yeah.
And Jesus comes and asks the man, do you want to be well? And the man didn't say yes. Start stories, you know.
Yeah.
And then Christine said, are you this person who is like this man? You know you need to be well, but you have so many excuses. Maybe like him, he thought, if I get well, where will I get these 1,000 bob I normally get here? And that hit me, that Abby, you have refused to choose healing. And so that day, I decided I'm going to start that path, but I didn't know how. So I meet a life coach, and we get into a healing and forgiveness journey. So she was giving an offer, so the offer attracted me because I was also afraid of spending on myself. And so I remember it was December 2020, and I pay the deposit. And we are to start in January because I'm like, I don't want to start the year with these burdens.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm realizing the people who hurt me are not even apologizing. So it's upon me to do something. And so we start the journey, and she tells me, what do you want? And I said, I just want to heal. I want to be happy again. I want to recover my joy. And so she asked me, do you want to forgive? And I said, no.
And you don't want to forgive?
Yes, I don't want. Why? Because I feel the people who offended me will step on me if I forgive.
Yeah.
And then she asks series of questions like we always do in coaching. And finally she asked, do you think it's possible to heal without forgiving? And I thought about it and thought, no. So we started the journey. It was not easy. It was tough. I cried a lot, but then it was a long journey. But then I got to the point where now I could let go. And it's a long story, so if I say it, then this whole episode will be about the story. But something remarkable is that I used to have acne on my face. I used to have sores that would just pop up, have fluid inside, and then burst. At some point, I could not walk properly. That I remember we did a declutter challenge with my coach. So that Sunday, I'm just decluttering, removing things I don't want from my drawers at home. And I think to myself, Abby, the same way you are removing these things, why can't you let this pain go? And at that point, I felt like the weight just went down. Like something from my shoulders was taken and off. 2 weeks. The acne disappeared, the sores disappeared. So it was me poisoning myself.
Okay.
So ask me why I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
That is the reason.
Wow.
That is where, and now from there, I discovered I want to lead others in this journey of healing. So that's where you will ever hear me talking about healing, because then I was freed from a prison I was in for a very long time. Yeah.
Wow. There is something you've said, and it has left me asking myself. So it means sweeping some mistakes under the carpet. It is very dangerous.
Yeah, because, when you sweep them, they are just there. They are waiting for the right time to erupt. So for me, I used to erupt all the time. Something happens, I erupt. Something happens, I erupt. Like somebody offended me 3 years ago, I just wait for that opportunity where they will say something and erupt. So it's not, you're not doing yourself a favor really by ignoring these pains. You're just storing it for later. Yet it's eating you from inside. So it doesn't help.
And now, also, because some people who offend us, and the people we live with in the same house, other than we live with them in the same house, they are people we see every day. So if you say that sweeping them under the carpet is dangerous, and sometimes you feel addressing them every day is like wasting time, because you will address someone who is not willing to change. So what am I supposed to do?
The healing journey is not about them. It's about you. You can't change them. You can't change anyone else. You can only change yourself. It could be your parent, it could be your husband, whoever. But then you can't change them. The only person you can change is you. So when you decide that I'm going to go on a healing journey, it's for yourself. And it reaches a point that once you're healed, what they do doesn't trigger you anymore. Because you get to a point of understanding, it's about me. It's about protecting my space. It's not about them. And Jeffries, everybody is living their own story on earth. You're living your story, Like now, I love my spouse very much, but I'm living my story. He's living his story. And no one wakes up in the morning and decides, I'm going to hurt this person.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not about you. It's about them. It's whatever is happening inside them that is causing them to do the wrong thing. The problem is most of the time we personalize it. We feel that alinifanyia, aliniona, you know. But then almost always it's about them. It's something going on in them. So you can't change that. You can only change what's going to work for you. For me, choosing myself helped. And eventually, it even changed those people around me. Yeah.
Abby, in your life and also in this coaching career, I want us to be categorical.
Yeah.
Hii swali nitakurushia like categorically, you spell it out. Kuna mtu atakukosea akirudia na huyo mtu hayuko willing ku repent, akwambie pole. Umenielewa? Like yeye every time anakuona anaona tu anafaa wewe anakuoffend. So in short, is it si lazima nikuwe na engage huyu mtu ati tunafesiana aniambie pole. I can choose to let go bila kumu-engage in any way.
Yes.
So it is for my own sake. Kindly address it. Our viewer aelewe that having to heal si lazima ukuwe una face offender every now and then. Kindly address it.
You know, I used to believe that for me to forgive my offender, lazima akuje aniambie from Genesis to Revelation. Kwa nini alifanya vile amefanya? Mbona aliamua hivyo and all that. And I realized it doesn't come easy. People have their own pride, their own ego, and then remember, as I've said, they are living their own lives. So it's not about you. And so I realized I don't need that explanation. It's freedom I'm giving to myself. Unajua Jeffries, kubeba mtu kwa roho
ni ngumu.
Ni kuweka mtu kwa mind yako, anaishi huko na halipi rent. Hakulipi rent.
Na hakulishi.
Hakuna kitu anakusaidia.
Bai hata maji ya kunywa.
Yeah. So, nothing. So, why not decide that I'm not going to rent them space in my mind and in my heart again, free, and just decide that it's not about them, it's about me. Because this person who offends you, some never come to say sorry. Some even die before they come to say sorry. So you find somebody who is so mad at somebody who is dead, yet this person is already gone. So walking that journey, there are people you will go and tell, you offended me, but I've forgiven you. But there are those you may not get the opportunity. So when I'm working with my clients, there are things we do. Like sometimes I tell you, write a letter to that person. Write everything. Hata kama unataka kumtusi, andika yote hapo. You don't have to take it to them, but you have released it. So we use such techniques and just help you to release it and help you to let it go. So the other person really doesn't have to come and say, I'm sorry, because some sorries may never ever come. It's you deciding that I'm freeing myself. Because as you continue, remember like me, who was poisoning myself, you're taking this poison, believing that that person will die, yet you keep dying slowly. So why kill yourself for somebody who may never bother about it?
So I want us to clarify something. Huyu ni mtu aliofendiwa, you are offended, right? And ukajipeleka tu klasi yako mwenyewe. You never went to any counselor. You never went to any life coach. You shared it with nobody. You carried it with yourself in you. Na ukajiongelesha, ukajiambia, I don't want to be part of it. Is that person in safe space? Kwa sababu yeye na huyo offender hawajawahi ombana msamaha. But in their heart wako sawa.
Yeah, as long as you're free from that person, it doesn't trigger you anymore, then you're okay. Because it doesn't have to involve that person. Jeffries, kuna watu unaenda kuambia, they even add salt to the wound. So such people, you will work on yourself, create the boundaries, decide that I have forgiven you, but we don't really have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Where possible, talk about it. Because forgiveness, Jeffries, is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is for you. If an opportunity for reconciliation comes, then you will talk. But forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things.
Thank you for that. Now, there are these people who are not ready to forgive. Yeah, they were offended, lakini anasema no, I will not forgive you and I will not let you off the hook. Kindly address such a person.
You know, we think forgiveness is unfair. Because remember, we are thinking it's about us. Amenikosea, hiyo kitu alinifanyia, I will never forgive. But then, remember we've said it's not about your offender, it's about you.
Yes.
As you keep hurting, as you keep swearing, I'll never forgive, as you keep having pain and sometimes sickness, like it was in my case. Let me give you an example. I heard this from a preacher I like listening to on YouTube. She said there was this lady who the husband had an affair. And she told him, I will never, ever forgive you. So one day, this lady is sick. She gets cancer and she's in hospital and she's dying. So the husband is concerned, calls the pastor to come and pray for the wife. And then on the way, the pastor asks God, what message do you have for this lady? And then God speaks to her, to him, and tells him, tell her if she forgives her husband, she will walk out of that hospital free of cancer. And so he goes, talks to her, and now that's when he realizes there was a case of infidelity and the wife has never forgiven. And talks to her and she says, no, I can never forgive. Hiyo niliamua, I will never forgive. And so she dies. She refused and she died. So see about that. When you die, your children are the ones left without a mother. And somebody was saying, you know those people who you think have offended you so much, they will keep offending you because they will be the ones who will come torture your children. In fact, somebody told a friend, unajua ukikufa, watoto wako watakuwa wafanyikazi wao. So why subject them to a motherless life just because you must hold a grudge? So not forgiving, as we've said, is doing harm to yourself. You're not hurting the other person, you're hurting yourself. So the best thing is to let go. If you can't do it yourself, find help. But make that decision that this is not something I want to carry, I am letting go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our viewer, healing is not for the other person who is the offender. It is for us. Maybe today you're opening my eyes. Yeah, I'm really learning.
That's why we are here.
Yeah, because imagine she could have just let go and forgiven the husband. She could have lived. You choose to lose your life for the sake of another person, and that is on another level.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And now ukishaenda see this guy will marry another woman and life will continue. Why would you leave your purpose on earth just because somebody offended you? You know, choosing to die is refusing to hold on to your purpose. Yeah.
Wow. Abby, most of us carry these wounds and unforgiveness for the longest time. Years, decades, however much we want. Yet we know that healing is very necessary. Why do so many of us carry these wounds for so long without addressing them?
It's because healing is not easy. Healing means you now want are forced, or you decide to give attention to this hidden thing. This thing that you've been brushing away, or as we say, brushing under the carpet. And now facing it. Healing means I have to face my giants. I have to confront them. So let me use myself again as a demo, this injury here.
Okay.
So it happened at night, in the evening. I was cleaning, and so I slid and fell. Now I had the option of staying at home and just sitting there and do nothing about it. But then I also had the option of going to hospital. So what we did first aid. My husband did some little first aid, akaweka kaplast kidogo, and we went. So when we went there, I was bleeding, and now the doctor made me sit there, took the iodine, akapanguza, that thing, it stings.
Yeah.
And so naona tu anatengeneza shindano.
Ooh, stitches.
Yeah, nashindwa.
Sorry.
Hii shindano inaenda wapi hapa? And the cleaning and all that. I remember when he brought the numbing needle, nikafanya hivi, akaniambia nataka nikushone bila kunumb that place. So I realized I have to be strong.
Yeah.
So I held my husband's hand as he injected, and it was painful.
Ole.
But then here I had, so my husband is like an example of the support I needed. And here is the doctor working on it. And I was there for some minutes as this teaching was going on. And that's what happens even in our emotional healing, or whatever kind of healing we need. That this wound has to be exposed. Imagine if I decided ile kaplas tuliweka nikaa hivyo. That's where the wound inside begins to rot, starts oozing pus, and and swells. And so instead of you addressing it so that you heal completely, and by the time this will be removed, what I will have is a scar. I will definitely have a scar. But then the scar haitaniuma tena. It will just be there as a reminder that something happened. Maybe I will learn from it. Be careful next time you're walking on a slippery floor. So healing demands from us to go through it. Ask anyone who has gone to therapy for the first time, or coaching. During my coaching period, I cried. It was not easy. And so people cry, it brings it out, like it takes you back to those emotions that you felt when the harm was happening. And so people run away from that. But it's very necessary for you to go through the whole process so that you're able to heal and get to the other side where it doesn't trigger any emotion, any negative emotions in you. We are taught to survive. We were not taught to we were taught to survive. Ukipata shida, watu wanakuambia, Jeffries, you are a strong woman. Now I normally say that strong woman title, ditch it.
Yeah.
Go for your healing. Like you've lost a loved one. People don't go for healing. People don't go for therapy, counseling. And then 4 years down the line, you're hurting. And then, Jeffries, the problem is when you don't heal, the people who never offended you are the ones who pay. Your children begin to pay. Your spouse pays. Sometimes you pay through your own health and what you go through. So the people who never offended you, they are the ones you'll be shouting at. They are the ones you will be hitting so hard. Mtoto unachapa mtoto, kumbe ni baba yake unachapa. Unachapa mtoto, mtoto anakuuliza,
ni makosa ya sahi kweli.
I mean, I just didn't clean the dishes. You're hitting me like a snake. What's happening? Kumbe sio mtoto unachapa. Unachapa baba yake, unachapa uncle yake.
Wote wamechanganyikana.
Wote umewaweka wote, in that child. So why would you let your loved ones, the innocent, suffer for what they didn't do. And the only way out is to go through that healing. So people don't go through it because it's not easy, but then it's necessary to go through it. So I would tell anyone, just choose that path. It's not easy, but it's necessary.
Wow.
Yeah.
And some of us, there is a position we find ourselves in. And when I'm saying some of us, I'm also talking on behalf of our viewer. Most of the people who cause pain to us, Abby, are the closest people. Someone you live with in the house, someone who is so family to you, someone who is your best friend, someone who is so close even in the office. They hurt us and offend us in a way that how could imagine. Now, Abby, at some point until you feel, I think I just nitakata tu uhusiano. Instead of niseme we repair or we try to talk, because unaweza kuwa mnafanyanga repair and one person is so intentional that this place will never have peace. In you want those repairs na umekubali severally umefanya those repairs. But there is one among you mwenye amejiambia hamtai kuwa na hiyo peace. So kuna vile huwa na trigger. So ni kama mnaombananga msamaha na mbele na nyuma. Abi, most homes are in that position. Most people are in that position. What do you do? Because utajipata umejenga ukuta, unajenga boundary, una harden. Some things happen, it's like you don't see. How do you address us? Because most of us in that shoe.
I get it. There are things that happen. It made me remember Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer says the father used to abuse her all the time, sexually. She has said it in public. And so she hated him. And she was just longing for the time she will be an adult to leave that home. And even when the dad was sick, and she felt like God was speaking to her to help the dad, she rebuked the devil. And said, that can't be God. That is the devil. And then called the husband, what do you think about this? Then the husband said, she was just hoping husband atakata. The husband says, if you heard from God, do it. And so she had to buy a home for the parents. This man who abused her all the time. And then she jokes and says, you know, I just thought, they're aging, they will die. But there is long life in my bloodline. Those people lived. They just die. Continued
you cannot
living.
Dictate one's life.
So she took care of them for several years. But over time, the father now, for years, now in his 80s, that's when he called her for the first time, crying to say sorry. And they reconciled. But you see, when it's too late. So people can hurt you. This is your father. He's supposed to protect you. But then he's the one abusing you. This is your, you know, for us women, when we go into marriage, we love with all our beings. Then infidelity happens. You don't know how to handle it. You feel destroyed. Your self-worth is gone. And now you're talking about walls.
Or you find he's physically abusive.
Yes.
Or even verbally. Kuna mtu anaweza kutukananga mpaka you like, hey, you know, coached.
There are cases that you have to step out. There are cases like if it's in marriage, you'll be advised here, separation is good for you. You need to take care of yourself. Self-care. You need to love yourself. You can't be there like women who say, I'm living for my children. You will live for your children and you are dying inside.
Lose yourself, yeah.
So separation can happen in adverse cases. But we can draw boundaries. You can heal and draw boundaries. Now, boundaries are different from walls. You know, stonewalling, where you just put up a wall. Healing leads you on a journey where you can heal and do constructive boundaries, but not walls. Somebody offends you, you can still look at them through the lens of love, but you have drawn a line that mimi na wewe tunafikishana hapa. Because when you put up a wall, then something in you still is offended or hates them, then you are not healed. It's still inside you. It might just be waiting for the right time to be triggered. So I would say go through the healing journey, then learn to create boundaries. And when it comes to the worst, sometimes loving people from a distance, that's an option also. That ninakupenda, but wacha tupatane, you know, from a distance. Because then, when you come into my space, you're not safe. You're dangerous. You know, there are people, if you keep allowing them into your space, then even your mental health or your health, like generally, is affected. So there are different ways of handling this, but at the end of the day, make sure inside you, you are healed.
So, for example, umesema someone who erects a wall, hajapona. Na kuna ule ana harden. Abi, me I want us to be real enough to save someone. Kuna watu wameumizwa mpaka wameharden.
You see, the problem with hardening, you may not just harden to that person. You will harden to others also who have not offended you. Like say it's a woman. Sasa unaona wanaume wote ni wabaya. It's a man. Wanawake wote ni wabaya. Because you didn't heal and separate this person from every other woman, from every other man, from every other situation. Hardening is not a solution. You know, when you're able to, when you heal, you forgive and heal, you're able to be that authentic you who sees this person as God's child who offended you. But then this is a person I need to love, but from a distance. Now, that is not creating a wall, because a wall ni ile, like they don't exist. Umewafuta, you have erased them completely.
They exist in another world where I am not.
Yes. But what about that day that you're forced to meet in a certain place? What about that day when life forces you to interact in a certain way? How then will you handle it? So healing makes you be able to see them through the lens of forgiveness, through the lens of love, but then with clear boundaries. Yes.
Wow. Our viewer, I don't know which position you are at, for sure. May I don't know how far you've gone with this healing process, but as we're really hearing it from our life coach, I think we all need healing. At some point, we feel blocking, raising walls, boundaries is all we need. But I think we need to face the demon itself and just heal, right?
Like the massa is face a lion and it runs away in our chia nyama. Sometimes that's how we have to face our own lions. You have to just face them, and that's where they diminish.
In your own line as a life coach, what are these signs you can tell us that you look at someone and you know that this person needs healing, even though they don't realize they need it? Yes.
A person who is easily triggered, you know, like we have said, mtoto amekukosea, you know, it's a small error, but the way you erupt, like somebody was telling me, the mother, watoto wakimkosa, she locks them outside at night, the whole night. Yet maybe it's just something small that they did. That woman definitely needs healing. Something is wrong.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
You feel stuck. You try to progress, you feel stuck. You see, when we talked about mindset, we said your outside world is a reflection of your inner world. If your inner world is in turmoil, money will be problems, everything else will be problems. I can tell you for sure, when I forgive, even financial breakthroughs began coming for me. It's like a new page opened totally in my life. Things I never thought I would do, I was now able to see them. So you get to this place that you now begin to see things clearly, you have clarity. So this person who is feeling stuck, feeling triggered, numbness, you're just feeling numb. We talked about this when we were talking about trauma.
Yeah.
You feel like you are dissociated from the world, like the world is iko kando na wewe uko kando, and among others. Those are signs that you need healing. Something is wrong, and actually you can tell it from inside. Something is not right.
Yeah. Is it possible to heal, forgive and forget?
I always say you can forget, but not always. I mean, if you kill my father, for example, will I forget that you did?
No.
But I can forgive.
Whenever a name father is mentioned, you remember that face.
Whenever I see somebody who looks like you, I can remember. Yeah, so it's possible to forgive and not forget. The difference is when you remember, it no longer triggers you. You can even talk about it. You can talk about what happened, and it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't pain you anywhere. So it's possible. Yeah.
You forgive, and you forget about it.
Because again, remember when we forgive, we learn from the lessons. Those lessons that we pick from whatever happened. So we can't say we forgot. I may not forget what somebody did against me. The only thing is that when I see them, it doesn't trigger me anymore. When I think about it, it doesn't trigger me anymore. I picked the lessons and I moved on. But that is completely behind me. Yeah.
What do you have to say to someone who feels forgiving someone is letting them off the hook? Hata kuwa na ile kakitwa na poke nako, you did this.
Yeah.
You did this.
Yeah, you know, most of the time we want them to pay. We want them to pay for what they did. We feel like they deserve to pay because they have taken you through pain. So, but forgiving is not letting someone off the hook. It's actually letting yourself off the hook. Remember, we have said you are now denying these people aren't free space in your heart and in your head. You are stopping taking the poison, expecting them to die. So it's you who is letting go. You're choosing to release it, to let go and to be free. It's like freedom, freedom from chains. That I've seen so many demonstrations of people who have not forgiven. So wanaekwa wamebeba kirok, uko nyuma kimeandikwa so many things.
Yeah.
It's like now you're cutting that chain and you're breaking free. So it's freedom for you. It's not really that the people may not even pay. It's like you are stopping that expectation that they have to pay. You let God deal with them the way He will, and you move on with your own life.
Abby, what is the psychology behind the people who offend others? Especially the ones who repeat it, like they'll do it again, they'll do it. What is the psychology behind them? Because sometimes unaona ni kama wenyewe pia wana shida yao, ndio wao wanajaribu kukuambukiza, ama pia wao wana shida zijapona. What is the psychology behind?
Hurt people hurt others. When people are hurting you, most of the time they're operating from a hurt space. There's an exercise I do, for example, with my clients. When somebody is going through something, unforgiveness with a person, we try to look at that other person, especially when it's parents. So I ask the person, how did your father live? What did your father go through? So when we look at it, you see that this person came from a hard space. Maybe if, for example, your father was drinking, coming home drunk, so that's what he knew best. So he's likely to repeat it. So these people are not hurting you because it's about you. It's about them. We talked about this with one of my clients, and it was such a breakthrough for her. When somebody is hurting you, it's not about you. It's about this other person. I read a book that changed how I see people's mistakes completely. The book said, don't take it personally. It's titled The 4 Agreements, and one agreement is don't take it personally. Because when you're doing what you're doing it because it's making you happy.
Yeah.
So it's not really that I'm going to do this. For some people, yes, it happens. I'm going to do this to hurt Jeffries. But other people, they are just living their own lives, their own dream, their own world. But then it hurts you. The unfortunate thing is that you're caught in the middle. But most of the time, it's about them. So when you look at it and say, this person ananikosea lakini ni yeye ako na shida, not really anataka kuniumiza, when you change the way of looking at it, it begins to give you an angle from which you can heal easily. Yeah.
Now maybe if I can ask, must someone forgive in order to heal?
Remember, that's what my coach asked me, that Abby, do you want to forgive? And I said, no. And then she asked a series of questions and then asked, do you think you can heal without forgiving? Thinking about it, I thought, no, it's not possible. You know, forgiveness, it's like now is when you have decided, I am letting go. I am cleaning this wound. I'm removing every dirt. Everything inside. Kama ni mwiba iko hapa ndani, tuchimbe, tutoe. Now that's the painful process. But then once it's done, the only thing that remains is a scar. So you'd rather forgive and be left with a scar than cover the wound, cover your mwiba pale ndani. You know, imagine covering a wound that has something inside. Then it can even kill. It can be fatal. So what you need to do is to let go. And by letting go, letting God, deciding that, and again, Jeffries, whatever happens in our lives, at the end of the day, it happens for us. With time, you come to realize that whatever God allowed me to go through was for me. It was not against me. It was not meant to destroy me. Like for me, maybe I wouldn't have been the coach that I am today. So when you get there, you realize it was for a purpose. Then you let go. So choosing the path of forgiveness is the quickest way to healing. It is not easy, but it's the best way. Yeah.
I want you to face that camera and address our viewer. Mtu mwenye amekosewa, ameshikilia hayo makosa na amekataa kujiponya hata yeye mwenyewe. They have not addressed it, na they don't want to address it, and they don't want to heal. Maybe in the same space where you are. Ukaambia coach, mimi sitaki kupona. Angalia huyo mtu, mwambie sahi what they are supposed to do.
You're there. You have struggled with pain. Something hurt you, somebody hurt you, and you're still holding on to the pain. And you know it's eating you from inside. My word to you is like that just like me, it will do you a lot of good for you to let go, for you to choose forgiveness. So what you need to do is ask yourself, what exactly am I going through? Admit that you have a problem. Tell yourself, I need healing. You know, as we always say, awareness. And then make that choice. Healing is a choice that you have to make. But then it's for your own freedom. It's not for the other person. It's for your own sake. And so when you choose that path, you're choosing yourself. You're taking back your power. When people trigger you all the time, what you've done, you've given them power. You've given your power over to them. They are now seated behind the car, the wheel of your car. They are driving you wherever they say. If they say get angry today, you're angry. If they say get mad today, you're mad. Why would you let anyone have such power over you? Choose yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself. Like me who had acne, it healed. I had sores on my body, it healed. Who knows what freedom, financial freedom, and all the freedom that you need, maybe it's tagged to that healing and that forgiveness that you need. So choose to heal, choose to let go, it's for your sake. It's not for the other person, it's for your sake. Yeah.
Then for the sake of our viewer who would want to walk this journey with someone, they say, I have carried this burden for the longest time and it is the high time I let go of it. Maybe they'll want someone to walk the journey with them. Please give our viewers your handles and also your phone number, and maybe somewhere they can get you so that they can walk this journey with you.
You know, before I forget, behind this prop of mine, disease, is healed. You know, I hope you see it, that now we want to leave our dis-ease and go to the place where we are at ease. Right now, I am at ease. When I think of the person or the people who had offended me, it doesn't hurt me anymore because I'm at ease. I can even meet them, shake hands, hug them, even say, thank you for what you did. What you did made me who I am today, and I'm grateful.
Wow.
So to reach me, you can reach me on my YouTube channel, Coach Blessed Darby, Instagram, Coach Blessed Darby, TikTok, Coach Blessed Darby, and Facebook, it's either Blessed Darby or Abby's Holistic Wellness Hub. And so through those channels, you can reach me. My phone number, 0781-248-284. Let's walk that journey together. Let's work on your healing, because as I say, you heal, you evolve, and you rise. Women are not meant to survive. We are meant to thrive. We are capable of achieving so much. We have great potential within us. All we need to do is stop settling for less, change our mindset, and go for what God ordained us to attain. When I'm working with women, I meet great potential. I see women start those businesses that have long been held in fears and frustrations. I see women love themselves, become better mothers, better wives, and great people on earth. On the other hand, I meet these women who are lost in pain, self-doubt, frustration, unforgiveness. They have refused to let go, and it keeps burying who they are, and they are buried in pain and frustration. These are the group of women. Looking at them from the outside, they look like they have it all. They had achieved everything. You admire them. But in their silent places, they are sad and unhappy. The Becoming Her program is your ticket to break free from these chains. Commit 2 hours every week, either on Saturday mornings or Tuesday evenings. Let us heal, evolve, and rise together. For only 10 weeks, join us and let's do this together.